Hey there, cherished viewer. Before we commence, let's ensure you've subscribed to our channel for more enlightening content. We are grateful for your presence with us as we journey together on this enlightening voyage. We to shed light on complex topics and present them in the most palatable form for you. Our devotion to making knowledge accessible will be evident as we dive into today's discourse. Today we are about to embark on an enriching journey of discovery and understanding, dissecting an essential passage from the New Testament of the Bible, Matthew 11:28-30. This passage isn't just a random selection, it is one that holds profound significance and promises comfort and solace. These verses echo the soothing voice of Jesus extending a timeless invitation. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. At first glance, these words adorn our mental canvas with a painting of solace, a sanctuary for those burdened with weight of worldly concerns. But a deeper exploration reveals a much more profound meaning, an invitation to partnership and learning. The yoke, traditionally utilized by farmers to tether animals together, symbolizes a bond, a connection, a shared journey. This metaphor that Jesus employs is to contrast his teachings with the oppressive weight of legalism and religious tradition. Rest is an integral pillar of the Christian faith, not merely a physical necessity but a spiritual principle. It's a state of being, an inner tranquility that stems from surrendering our burdens and aligning our lives with divine truth. This notion of rest encompasses laying down the heavy load of our worries, anxieties, and self-imposed expectations, and embracing the lightness of a life lived in partnership with Jesus. However, rest isn't just a Christian concept. It's a universal human necessity, an elemental aspect of our well-being. As inhabitants of this fast-paced world, we all yearn for moments of peace and quiet. We seek solace in nature's serene beauty, in the company of our loved ones, and in the recesses of our minds, where we can disconnect from the chaos around us. So how did this verse come into existence? What is the historical context that birthed it? And how can we apply its wisdom to our lives today? These questions need thorough exploration to fully understand the meaning of these verses. To explore these questions and delve deeper into the significance of these verses, we invite you to join us in our pursuit of knowledge. Our aim is not merely to present information, but to create a space for shared learning and interaction. Through our channel, we strive to build a community of enlightened individuals, eager to learn, grow, and share. We encourage you to actively participate, share your thoughts, ask questions, and engage in meaningful discussions as we journey together. In this series, we aim to explore hidden comfort, the rest you've been missing, examining the roots of these, their historical context, their interpretation, and their application. We will delve deeply into the interpretations that have evolved over centuries and how they are relevant in our contemporary world. We promise you a journey of learning, of discovery, and of personal growth. So without further ado, let's embark on this journey of knowledge, understanding, and shared discovery as we explore hidden comfort, the rest you've been missing. To fully understand this verse, we need to travel back in time to the era of Jesus. Picture, if you will, a world vastly different from what we know today. A time when the Roman Empire was the apex of civilization, its influence spreading far and wide, reaching even the humble province of Judea. It was this period in history that serves as the backdrop for our tale. Judea in the first century was a hub of social unrest and religious discord. The Jewish people, renowned for their unwavering faith and rich traditions, were under the thumb of Roman authority. This was a period of deep turmoil and discomfort, with the Jewish community resisting the burdensome grip of Roman rule. They were trying to retain their identity and beliefs while battling an external power that sought to impose its own laws and customs. This struggle was further exacerbated by the Jewish religious leaders, the Pharisees. They introduced a rigid interpretation of the law, placing upon the common people an array of religious obligations that were often difficult to uphold. Amid this challenging backdrop, Jesus emerged as a beacon of hope and change. Jesus was a teacher and a healer, who brought with him a contrasting vision. He extended a different kind of yoke, one that was gentle and light. But what did Jesus mean by this? To fathom this, we need to decode the metaphor of the yoke. In the agrarian societies of the time, a yoke was a common tool. It was a wooden crosspiece that was fastened over the necks of two animals, typically oxen. This allowed them to work in unison, pulling a plow or a cart together. The yoke was heavy, awkward, and often rubbed against the animals' necks, much like the burdensome religious demands that the Pharisees placed on the people. Jesus, however, introduced a completely different kind of yoke, one that was his own. He extended an invitation to those who were weary and burdened, urging them to take on his yoke and learn from him. His teachings were indeed challenging, but they aimed at emancipating people from the chains of legalistic burdens and guiding them to a life of love, peace, and spiritual tranquility. It's necessary to point out that Jesus' teachings weren't about discarding the law, but about fulfilling it. He didn't dismiss the Torah. Instead, he interpreted it in a light that prioritized compassion and mercy over strict adherence to rituals and traditions. He propagated that the law should not be perceived as a burden, but as a guide to living a rewarding and righteous life. The societal setup of that era, too, plays a significant role in our understanding of this verse. Jesus existed in a patriarchal society where women were often neglected and sidelined, yet his invitation was all-encompassing. His words were not restricted to a select few, but resonated with everyone, irrespective of their gender, social standing, or religious background. This was revolutionary for that time and is indicative of Jesus' mission to usher in a radical transformation in societal norms and religious customs. Additionally, the political climate cannot be discounted. The Jewish community was awaiting a Messiah, a savior who would liberate them from Roman rule. But Jesus offered a different form of deliverance. His kingdom was not a part of this material world. His deliverance was from the weighty burdens of sin, guilt, and spiritual unrest. He offered a kingdom of peace, love, and righteousness, promising solace for the weary soul. With the historical context in mind, the verse takes on a deeper significance, but what does it mean for us today? As we move forward in our exploration, we will examine the contemporary interpretations and practical implications of this timeless verse. We will draw from its rich historical context to reveal the profound comfort and rest it promises. So stay tuned as we continue to unravel the hidden comfort entrenched in the words of Jesus. Fast forward to today, and this verse still resonates with us, but how do we interpret it in our modern context? Let's take a moment and reflect on the world around us. In our fast-paced, technologically driven society, it often feels as though we're constantly running on a hamster wheel, doesn't it? The pressures of juggling work, family, relationships, and societal expectations can sometimes feel like a Saatchi art piece, overwhelming, complicated, a burdensome load we carry. These burdens we carry are not physical, yet they bear heavily on us nonetheless. They come in the form of deadlines, bills, expectations, both from others and ourselves, and a constant nagging need to achieve more, to be more than we are. It's a relentless cycle that leaves many weary, drained, and yearning for a breather. But amidst this chaos and confusion, a hushed, gentle invitation can still be heard. The comforting words of Jesus echo through the millennia, a beacon of hope in our turbulent sea of modern life. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I give you rest. These words ring as true today as they did 2,000 years ago. The message and the invitation remain relevant in this digital age. Interpreting this verse in our contemporary context can be a complex task. The beauty of it, however, lies in its adaptability. To some, it presents a spiritual call to action, to shed the heavy metaphysical weights of worldly concerns and find solace in a relationship with God. It's a call towards freedom, a release from the binding chains of the tangible world, and an embrace of the comfort and serenity offered by a spiritual existence. For others, the verse resonates as a powerful reminder of the importance of self-care and mental health. It gently persuades us to acknowledge our exhaustion, our burdens, and to seek rest and recovery. It advocates for holistic wellness, emphasizing the need for us to care for not only our physical health, but our emotional and psychological well-being as well. In the context of contemporary stresses, This verse can act as a soothing balm for our troubled minds. It invites us to seek refuge in the divine, find tranquility amidst the tumult, and foster inner calm, despite the external turmoil. The yoke mentioned in the verse is also a fascinating concept open to interpretation. In our contemporary understanding, it could symbolize the rules, norms, and expectations imposed by society. These societal constructs can often seem heavy, restrictive, and Jesus invites us to trade them for his yoke, which is gentle and light. This could be construed as an invitation to live according to Jesus' teachings, placing love, compassion, and humility above societal demands. This verse additionally speaks volumes about humility. In a world that often glamorizes self-promotion and individual achievement, the call to be gentle and humble in heart serves as a refreshing counter-narrative. It's a potent reminder that true peace and rest stem not from outward validation, but from a humble, sincere heart. Moreover, this verse can be a beacon of hope for those grappling with feelings of unworthiness or self-doubt. It sends a clear message. Regardless of the weight of your burdens, irrespective of your weariness, you are welcome to find rest with Jesus. It's a message of unconditional love, acceptance, and divine grace that exceeds our imperfections and shortcomings. This verse offers a timeless solution in dealing with our modern stresses and burdens. Come to Jesus, lay down your burdens, assume his light and easy yoke, and find rest for your soul. It's a message of hope, comfort, and peace that surpasses time and culture. So, whether you're feeling overwhelmed by the pressures of work, struggling with personal issues, or grappling with the complexities of modern life, remember this verse. Remember that you're invited to come to Jesus, to lay down your burdens and to find rest for your soul. Remember that his yoke and his burden is light. This verse thus provides a timeless solution to human struggles. But how can we practically apply it? The beauty of Scripture lies in its applicability, so how can we apply this verse in our daily lives? We must first come to a fundamental understanding that the yoke Jesus refers to is not an object of oppressive weight. Instead, it's a symbol of guidance, a metaphorical harness designed to align our actions, choices, and decisions with his divine teachings. His yoke is not a burden, it's a beacon, a guiding light illuminating the path to righteousness. Now let's delve deeper into some practical ways we can embrace this proverbial yoke and access the soothing rest promised in the scriptures of Matthew 11:28-30. This process could be seen as a journey, a spiritual expedition that requires commitment, understanding, and patience. It begins with prayer. Prayer, in the context of embracing the yoke of Jesus, isn't just about reciting age-old verses or making requests. It's about establishing a connection with Jesus, a spiritual bond that transcends physical boundaries. It's about opening up our hearts, removing the layers of doubt, fear, and anxiety, and inviting Jesus for a dialogue. During these moments of quiet, intimate conversation, we can lay down our burdens on his feet, express our deepest fears, and solicit his divine guidance. Prayer is not just a monologue where we speak and hope for a response. It's a dialogue, a two-way communication where we also listen, and in that listening find rest in his presence. Meditation is the second powerful tool that aids us on this spiritual journey. Don't let the term intimidate you. Meditation, particularly in the context of Christian spirituality, doesn't necessitate sitting cross-legged, eyes closed, humming a mantra. It is a more versatile practice. It could be as simple as spending a few quiet moments each day reflecting on a verse, a piece of scripture, or seeking solace in the beauty of God's creation. These moments of solitude and reflection allow us to contemplate the yoke of Jesus, the lessons he intends us to learn, the mysteries he desires us to unravel, and the peace and tranquility he yearns for us to experience. We must also learn to invite tranquility actively into our lives. In an era of constant hustle, this might mean setting aside our relentless pursuits momentarily to find pockets of calm. It could be as simple as a leisurely walk in nature or sitting in silence, letting the ambient sounds wash over you. By deliberately slowing down, we allow ourselves the opportunity to rest, breathe, and refocus on what's truly essential. Service is another practical application of the verse. Jesus was a servant leader, leading by example and showing us that true greatness is born of serving others. When we choose to serve, to put others' needs ahead of our own, we are truly embracing the yoke of Jesus. There's a profound rest, a unique sense of peace that comes from serving others. It almost appears counterintuitive, but in service we find solace. We must remember the crucial role of community. The yoke is not an object meant to be carried individually. We are encouraged to share our struggles, our doubts, our triumphs and joys with others. This sharing lightens the load we carry and offers comfort and support. Locating a community, a church, a small group, or even a close-knit circle of friends where you feel safe and confident in your vulnerability is crucial. In this shared faith, we find rest. Surrender might be a difficult concept to embrace, but it's absolutely essential. We tend to carry burdens that are not ours to bear, burdens that Jesus is willing to relieve us of. Surrendering these to Him, placing our trust in His humility and gentleness, allows us to experience the rest He promises. Applying this verse to our lives isn't about adhering to strict rules or legalistic practices. It's about fostering a relationship, a partnership with Jesus. It's about learning from Him, walking with Him, and finding rest in His serene presence. It's about accepting His yoke, not as a burden, but as a beacon of light, leading us to a haven of peace and rest. So let's commit to taking a moment each day to come to Jesus, to lay down our burdens at His feet, to learn from Him. Let's welcome the rest He offers, the peace He promises, and the gentle guidance of His yoke. Let's remember His words as we navigate through our days. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. Let's create space in our lives for prayer, for meditation, for moments of tranquility, for acts of service, for of community, and for surrender. By incorporating these practices, we can experience the rest that Jesus promises in this verse. As we wrap up, let's reflect on the key insights from our exploration of Matthew 11:28-30. A deep dive into these verses has led us on a journey of understanding their historical context, their interpretation, and their practical application in our lives today. Let's begin by revisiting the setting of these verses. They were delivered in a period characterized by a society which was heavily burdened by the yoke of religious practices that were more legalistic than spiritual. Jesus, seeing the plight of the people, decided to talk about this in His teachings. His message was not a mere statement. It was a beacon of hope to those hearts who were tired, to those souls who were yearning for a moment of rest and a taste of peace. Jesus, with His unconventional approach and unique perspective, challenged the norm. He boldly contrasted His yoke or teachings with the burdensome yoke of legalism and religious tradition. He broke the chains of age-old practices and provided a fresh perspective. This historical context is so important to understand because it forms the backdrop against which these verses were spoken. It gives us a window into the past, allowing us to grasp their full meaning. This context serves a reminder that Jesus' words were not just relevant for the people of His time. They were timeless. They transcended boundaries of centuries and continue to resonate with us in the present day. His teachings still hold value in today's world, subtly reminding us about the importance of spiritual peace over materialistic gains. As we moved forward in our exploration, we delved into the modern interpretations of the verse. This is where we discovered the deep symbolism embedded in Jesus' teachings. The yoke that Jesus speaks of is not a physical burden, but is highly symbolic of His teachings, His way of life. Jesus invites us to share His yoke, to walk with Him, to be His partners in a journey towards a peaceful life. When we embrace His teachings, we enter a partnership with Him. We share in His gentleness and humility. And it's in this partnership that we find the true rest for our souls. It's not just a sense of physical rest, but a deep and profound sense of spiritual calmness. In addition to understanding the context and interpretation, we also made an effort to understand the practical applications of these verses in our daily lives. We learned that accepting Jesus' teachings is not a guarantee of a life free from challenges or hardships. Instead, it's a promise of a companion in our journey, a guide who can help us navigate through the stormy waves of life, a friend who makes our burdens light. Jesus' message is an invitation to experience rest, not just in times of peace, but also in the midst of our struggles. In the eye of our storms, each verse serves as a guidepost, a beacon of hope in troubled times. So, what are the key takeaways from these verses? First, Jesus extends an open invitation to all who are weary and burdened. It doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, or what we've done. His invitation is open. It's for everyone without any discrimination or prejudice. Second, The rest that Jesus offers is not just physical rest, but rest for our souls. It's a deep, profound peace that transcends our human understanding. It's a peace that fills our hearts and souls, providing us with a sense of calmness and serenity that is rare to find in the modern world. And third, this rest is found in a relationship with Jesus, in embracing his teachings and his way of life. It's not something that can be bought from a shop or ordered online. It's something that comes from within, from a deep understanding of his teachings and a willingness to follow his path. As we go about our daily lives, let's remember these verses. Let's remember that in our weariness and our burdens, we have an open invitation to find rest. Let's remember that this rest is not a fleeting moment of relaxation, but a deep, soulful peace. Let's remember that it's found not in the hustle and bustle of the world, but in a relationship with Jesus. And there you have it. Remember, in a world full of hustle and bustle, seek the rest that only Jesus can give. Before we part ways, we have a humble request. The time we've spent together exploring the profound depths of Matthew 11:28-30 has been an enriching experience for us, and we hope for you as well. These verses are not just mere words penned down in antiquity, they are living testimonies of faith, hope, and love. The teachings of Jesus Christ, as captured in these verses, are a testament to the eternal truth of his divine existence. They are a call to all weary souls, an invitation to come to him and find everlasting peace. We believe that there's immense value in reflecting on these scriptures, and that's why we'd like you to join us on this journey of faith. Our channel is not just a platform for sharing biblical teachings, it's a community of believers, seekers, and learners. We are all on a spiritual journey, seeking answers, seeking peace, and seeking a connection with the divine. When we share these videos, we are not just sharing knowledge, we are sharing our journey. We are sharing our quest for understanding, for peace, and for a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. Your support by subscribing to our channel and sharing our videos isn't just a way to expand our community, it's a way for us to carry forward the message of Christ to the world. It's a way to ensure that more people hear the call of Jesus and find the rest that he promises. By subscribing, you become part of this journey. You become part of this mission of sharing the good news. You become part of a community that is seeking a deeper understanding of the Word of God. And by sharing our videos, you are helping to spread the message of Jesus Christ to a world that so desperately needs his love and grace. We invite you to join us on this journey of discovery, to delve deeper into these verses in your own time and find the rest promised by Jesus. Your active engagement helps us to continue creating these spiritually enriching experiences, these discussions, these reflections that we hope bring you closer to understanding and accepting the grace of Jesus Christ. We are not just a source of biblical exploration, we are a family that prays together, learns together, and grows together in faith. A family that hopes to experience the divine rest promised by Jesus, a rest that is not merely about cessation from physical toil, but a deep spiritual peace that surpasses all understanding. Remember, each time you engage with our content, you're not just supporting us, but also making a valuable contribution to the spiritual growth of others. Your likes, your comments, they all add up. They help to create a vibrant, dynamic community that is bound by the love and teachings of Jesus Christ. Your support and engagement are invaluable in helping us grow and continue to provide these enriching, scripturally based explorations. We deeply appreciate the time you take to watch our content, engage with it, and share it with others. Your contributions go far beyond a simple click. They help keep the spirit of sharing and learning alive. Thank you for watching. Every view, every interaction, every subscription brings us a step closer to realizing our mission. Remember, the rest you've been missing is just a prayer away, us as we continue this journey together, and we promise to keep providing you with content that nurtures your spirit and helps you grow in your faith. See you in our next video.